Hey, Visha. Feeling a little bit better. Not all the way back to 100%, but feeling somewhat better. Wanted to just come on, and this will probably be my last broadcast tonight, unless God says otherwise. But I wanted to give you guys a kind of update and just some observations that I've had like since the last broadcast. Several things really stood out. It's amazing how like sometimes our initial emotional response to things, hey Kanima, hey Stephanie, sometimes our, initial emotional response to being blindsided, it's extreme. I'll say that. Very much so extreme. So after the last broadcast, I drove to my house. Just to God told me to drive by just to see what they had done. But on my drive there, two things that became aware to me. The first thing that became aware to me was the money that kind of messed me up. The amount that messed me up on my tax return. The Lord had me actually do the math. He says, calculate your mother's income, like what she gave you. And I gotta tell y'all something. Do you not know that like the amount that like she makes per year makes up literally the exact amount that I was off, like on my tax return? I don't know how I've never messed my taxes up. I still haven't heard from the bank, but like it was the exact amount. It was the exact amount. It was the exact amount. He knew it would have. It was the exact amount. And so, like, as he was like leading me to like think about that, you know what he told me? He said, "Your mother was a ram in the bush. Your mother was a ram in the bush." And so, that was like, that has kind of shifted my perspective and made me feel I'm still not all the way at ease until the bank actually called back and like, yeah, we got it. We back on track. Then I feel like I'll be at the point where I'm good, if that makes sense. I still feel a little bit iffy. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, but I'm trying not to feel iffy. Exactly, Visha. That was why it was immediate. Like I immediately knew this was what I needed to do. And so I think it was just more so like not expecting it. Like I was expecting anything like but that, if that makes sense. And so that was the first thing. And so I get to the house. They haven't built the fence yet, but I noticed something in particularly. There is no for sale sign in front of the house anymore. It's no sign in front of the house anymore. It's no the last time I went, it still had a sign. But like this time, like it was it's no for sale sign. The little sign where it lets you know what number to call. It was literally no sign at all. And so it was like I knew God was telling me the other day. He was talking about like yesterday. He was talking about going to view the house, but it wasn't yesterday. He needed me to go today. And so it's like, coming back from all of that, it was reassuring. And I just felt like the sense like, God, I'm gonna be okay. Like this is I'm going to be okay. I'm right at the tail end, and you know, no, that's not how they do it in Mississippi. That's not how they do it here. Some places may do it, but no. No. It's not even a sign that says this is a brand new home. Homes around it have signs. My house doesn't have a sign anymore. It had a sign like a week ago, but there's no sign near the house. A neighbor, someone just moved in on one right next to me. They don't have a sign. And then it's another one. So I feel really, I will say this, really encouraged. But it's still one of those things of having to be patient and, let God be God, if that makes sense. I pray that I'm making sense. And so it's like in moments where you're dealing with things where you're blindsided, things that make you feel like an immense amount of emotions, negative emotions. it's like, if you give God, a chance, and if you, stay in that mindset of asking yourself, what does faith look like? And allowing the Holy Spirit to lead you, it puts you in a mindset where, you can receive the encouragement from God, because there are some moments where, it's not that God doesn't give encouragement, but there are some moments, right, where, we just are not receptive to the encouragement. And so it just took me just, looking by faith, to see, like, what can I do to stay in faith in this situation, for, like, God to show me, like, you're okay, like, you are okay, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of where I am right now. Again, I'm still waiting on the banker to call me. I do know that she told me she was working with someone else that was closing today, and so she was going to do that first and then work on mine. And so right now, that is where I am. Blessings to you, Joy Speaks. That is where I am, just waiting to get the okay to see if that will work for me. And there, at this point, there's really nothing else that I can do. It's been a day, though. It has been a day. I will say that, and I think because it's been so many blows, today it's one of those days where I'm like, Lord, I want to just go home, and I want to go to bed. Like, I really want to go to bed. And so that's where we are, you guys. That's where we are. Those were the observations that I just kind of made today. Like, the exact number that I messed up on my return is the exact amount that will come from, like, my mom, adding my mom. And so um it's just a waiting game at this point. It's just literally the waiting game. And so that's where I am right now. I wanted to just share that, how sometimes, when we freak out, we miss, that moment where God can show us there's nothing to freak out about, right? It's like, a person falling in a pool, that a person that can't swim falling in a pool, but not realizing the pool is only like 1 feet or 2 feet, right? And instead of, standing up to realize it ain't that deep, they freak out, and so I think we all have moments like that where life just gets to us. Anybody ever had a moment like that where life just gets to you, and your first response is like freak out? By a show of hands, like, sometimes, like, our first response is literally like freak out. And we freak out, and it's like, when you freak out, it puts you in a mindset where you don't know what to do, you don't know what to think, you can't hear God, your brain is scrambling. And it'd be like you are in what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a type of self-preservation mode, where it's like you are just fighting, 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 not to, like, let whatever just happened, sink you. And so I guess I say all of that to say that sometimes God uses those moments to get us to relax, and to get us to, like, understand that, like, everything about our lives is really in his control. And so that has been kind of like what today has been, the blind side. I'm still really not over it. Like, y'all, I'm still not over it. Like, that was a blind side. And so as I get updates on things, I'm definitely going to let you guys know exactly, like, where we are when it revolves around the process. And so for now, that is the update. They've officially taken that for sale sign off of the house, because it is under contract with me. And so right now it's just a waiting game, and just believing that God will come through right in the nick of time, if that makes sense. And so that's where I am right now. That's it. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions about faith, or not about my life now? Because sometimes some of y'all be nosy, and y'all don't even be knowing me, and y'all just act. Don't do that now. But I will be transparent if you ask a decent question. But if there are no questions, and I haven't asked questions in a while, I know I'm talking about my faith journey. This is helping you guys in some way or form, that you guys are able to glean something. Hold on one second. That you guys are able to glean something, just from, like, my journey in itself. And so If we are good, can you guys just give me a one on? If we are good, can you guys just give me a one on the screen? But for right now, whew, that is it. For right now, that is it. Am I freezing? Can I don't see any comments. I may be freezing. Am I freezing? Can someone let me know if I'm freezing or not? Can some I'm freezing. Hold on. What about now? Am I still freezing? Am I still freezing? So that's where we are. That's where we are. That is it. I love you guys. I'm rooting for you guys. And so till next time, y'all. Peace.